What's going on, everybody? I'm Kevin from Cigar Prop. It's time. We're going to start building out the walk-in humidor in our lounge. Sorry if there's a little bit of an echo. The room is completely empty right now, except for some work lights because I don't have any lights in here. We've got the bare drywall. This is the wall that we put up that separates the walk-in humidor from my office. Yeah, first step is we are going to prime. That's today's project. That's the only thing I'm getting done today is prime all the walls. Now, I know everything has been painted, and I kind of wish I hadn't used the good paint inside here. I wish I'd used just a regular paint because I'm about to cover up about $45 worth of paint because we use an uber expensive paint everywhere. So what we decided, so for this whole build, I have contacted multiple contractors, multiple paint people, wood people, exhaust experts. I have contacted everybody. So hopefully everything goes without a hitch or goes off without a hitch. What does that even mean? Goes off without a hitch. Anybody ever think about that term? I don't know. So the paint people recommended the Kills. So this is mold and mildew interior exterior primer. They said it can be in the situation that I'm using it for. Just do several coats. You don't have to put a top coat. You can just use the primer. This has a 7-year resistance to mold, which I don't expect there to be any, but you got to think, I got to future-proof this because once everything's done, and the walls are up, the cedar's up, like there's no going back and redoing without tearing everything apart. So I'm trying to get this down pat. I mean, shelving and things like that, after the fact, I can change it. It's not a big deal. So what I'm trying to prevent is any mold, because this is going to be a high moisture environment. I don't want anything to get into the walls or the ceiling and propagate mold throughout the rest of the lounge. We live in Florida. It's hot, it's humid. We are in the prime area for mold growth. The lounge, I try and keep it, it's usually right around 35 to 40% humidity, so that's absolutely perfect. But inside here, it's gonna be upwards of 70% humidity, and this room gets warm. It's warm right now because I don't have any AC ducts in here. So, not to get ahead of myself, but after we do all the priming, so the next process is actually taking these, I'm going to do like the 1x3s, and then what we will do is we will actually nail or screw these to the wall. We're going to nail and screw them, doesn't really make a difference. I'll probably go every other stud. There's really no reason to put these on every stud. Just so I have that little bit of air gap also, plus no wall is perfect, so I don't want to put the Spanish cedar directly on the wall itself because kiln-dried Spanish cedar absorbs moisture, and if it's touching the wall, you don't want that. So I plan on putting all of these like burring strips all the way around. We're doing the ceiling and everything else. Once the strips are on the wall, I will come back and do my second coat of primer covering the strips as well. And then we are going to plastic everything. All the walls, we will overlap the plastic where they come into contact with these, just so there's nowhere for that moisture from the cedar to ever touch the wall. So if there's going to be any mold, any mildew that does develop in here, it will be just on the wood itself. It won't be able to get anywhere else. So some people said plastic wasn't a necessity. I've talked to three different contractors now, and they all say same thing. In our opinion, plastic, for what you're going to spend on it, why not? Why not put plastic up? So that's what we'll do. Prime everything on one coat, put all the wood up, prime everything a second coat. I will probably give this bare wall a third coat since everything else has primer and paint already. So since I never did prime this because I knew this would be coming on, so I'll probably do 3 coats here. And then this is the Spanish cedar that we got. As you can see, I chose 3 different widths only to save money. These are 3/4 inch planks. Did spend a little bit extra to buy the super, super thick planks. These have actually been sitting out in my workshop outside for the last couple of months, soaking in as much humidity as I can possibly get these things to soak up, because we are going to butt these side by side. Just this room right here, which is 8 by 8 by 8 by 8, not 8 by 8 by 8 with 8-foot ceilings. It's a few dimensions off from that. This was $5,000. Well, the wood was $2,500 just for the wood. And then to plane all 4 sides to make it dimensionally perfect was an additional $2,500. That put me at $5,000. To tongue and groove this so they'll snap on, that was an additional $2,500. So I just couldn't, we were already gone way over budget on the lounge. I couldn't do another $2,500 to tongue and groove everything. So, but because they planed it, and this is a professional lumber mill, these should butt up next to each other. Absolutely perfect. They're already as swollen as they'll ever be. So it's not like I'm putting dry lumber in here, humidifying it, and then having that lumber swell and possibly pop or buckle any of the hardware I put on to contain them to the walls. So that's the next step after that. So and then so we'll probably do the ceilings first, do the walls. We do have some tricky things I got to do around the outlets. I've got something. I'm not a carpenter. So I've got some ideas of what I can do around the outlets, because I can't move the outlet out and make it flush. If I would have thought in ahead, if you're doing something like this and if you're building a room and then you're going to convert it later, I would have maybe coiled a little bit of extra wire right behind the outlet. And then that way I could have pulled the box out and then recessed it right on the wood. And then that would have left me enough wire. I don't have enough wire, in there now to bring it out. So I don't know what the solution would be, to bring it out any further, so I don't know. It is what it is. If you have an idea of what I could do, but I do have, leave a comment, but if not, I think I've got a solution on that. And then we do have a fan that will be coming in here. It'll actually be, this is the room here. That's actually another outlet I just put in today. That's for the fan. I got an electrician coming over. He's my neighbor across the street. He's an electrician, so he's going to come wire that up for me today. So because right above here is where our fan will go. It's actually, we end up choosing this design. It's reversible, goes forward and back. We will mount it inside here, and it will, we've got, you can put it on temperature and humidity, and it'll actually turn on and suck out either the hot air inside this room and blow it in there, or it will suck in the cold, dry air from the lounge and put it in here to bring the temperature and humidity down. That's something we're going to have to play around with, because I don't know yet. I don't even know how I'm going to humidify this thing yet. So that's something that we're working on as well. Luckily, I visited a few lounges around and seen some of the units they have, so they've given me some good tips on those. So yeah, step 1 of building a walk-in humidor. Yeah, there's no casing on here. That's all going to be wood. I deliberately didn't put any casing on there in case you're wondering why. So yeah, this is step 1 of building a walk-in humidor. And you'll be able to do this if you have a house with a walk-in closet. You should be able to do everything step by step that I'm doing. The only thing you won't be able to do is, like, when we put these walls up, there is so much insulation in here. This room is very well insulated, so it's going to be able to keep in whatever temperature that we wanted. If you're doing a walk-in closet conversion, that's one thing that you won't have control of. But we might talk about something you can do to I'll try to remember that. All right, cats and kittens, we'll see you in part 2.